Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As promised, this video is dedicated to the genuine Essiac Tea. I lost my voice about a week ago. I'm just kind of getting it back now. So I'm just going to get straight to the point. Traditionally, the Essiac Tea was a 4-herb formula, and then back in 1959 in Cambridge, Massachusetts, physicians came together. They further studied this formula on patients, and then by 1967, they came up with a more enhanced version, which now includes 4 additional herbs on top of the 4 traditional herbs. So the 4 additional herbs enhanced the effectiveness of the actual formula, giving birth to the 8-herb genuine Essiac Tea. And this herb, this 8-herb formula is what I started taking after 576 hours of chemotherapy failed to kill my mediastinal large B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Say that 5 times quickly, I dare you. After my 6th treatment, which was like 96 hours, I had a PET scan and unfortunately delivered bad news. Although my 20-centimeter mass shrunk, the cancer was alive and well, and in fact it grew in 2 different spots in my lung. At that point, we did another round of biopsies where they go directly into the mass, and a separate biopsy that went into my lung. I started coughing up blood for well over a month. It was so painful to breathe. It was like razor blades in my lungs. And at that point, I was done being a lab rat. I physically and mentally, I was just kind of checked out. The next recommended route of treatment was a stem cell, and then the percentages of getting cured from that were not worth going through that. So at that point, I started doing research on my cancer. Originally, I was naive. I was in the infant stages of going along with the flow, and I do not recommend anyone doing that. If you are unfortunately diagnosed with the disease, make sure you read up on it, know everything about it, and don't be bullied or pressured into making decisions that you don't feel comfortable with. So going back to my early stages of research, my girlfriend found the genuine Essiac Tea, and I started taking it. 3 times a day. You're supposed to not eat for 2 hours, take the tea, and then wait another hour, and then you can eat. And I started doing that 3 times a day. I started doing research on how to detox the body through Chris Work in the Square One program. I'll do a separate video on that. And I wanted to fuel my body and help it properly identify and kill the cancer. So I continued doing the genuine Essiac Tea 3 times a day, and I beefed up my diet with veggies and fruits and other supplements that I'm going to be sharing with you on my page. And on the next PET scan, which was about roughly 3 months later, nothing lit up. So it appeared that I was in remission. I was only given a 30% chance of remission. Doing the outpatient immunotherapy, which I decided to do, my diet, which included one of my biggest weapons, the genuine Essiac Tea. So this is definitely on top of the pyramid of my diet. So I saw no reason to push forward with doing stem cell. I didn't want to damage my body further. I had 2 additional scans since then. I'm still in remission. I continue to take the genuine Essiac Tea, but I'm in a maintenance stage, which is twice a day. I also make sure I get veggies and fruits, and again, I'll share all that with you in separate videos. But I just want to let you know that I was only given a 30% chance of going into remission, doing the outpatient immunotherapy and this diet. So don't give up. Disregard those percentages that you get. Just keep pushing forward. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is power. And I just want to give a shout out to Gina and Brian, who are the owners of this genuine Essiac Tea. I'm sure you already know this from all the testimonials on your website, mine included. You're doing God's work. You're giving people a shot. You're giving people an opportunity to fight back and to beat the cancer or whatever you are facing. And this 8-herb genuine Essiac tea has helped me get into remission. So thank you, Gina and Brian. And I also want to give a big shout out to the Genuine Essiac team as well. Anytime I had a question, they picked up the phone. That's very rare these days, especially. And if it were after hours, I sent them an email. Sometimes they would get back to me on Saturday. Very helpful, very patient, and very knowledgeable. And the Genuine Essiac website is easy to use. It's not complicated, and there's a lot of great information on there and videos to watch. So thank you for that. And I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes going over this 8-herb formula. I'm not going to list all the antioxidants and minerals and vitamins and all of the anti-inflammatory benefits because we'll be here for a while. But I want to outline some of the benefits that I found through my own research and actually what I've read on the Genuine Essiac website. So let's get going with the first herb. Oh, and by the way, part 2 of this video, I'm going to take you to the kitchen. I'm going to invite you, I'm going to invite Linda into the video, and she's going to show you how to make the Genuine Essiac tea. So that'll be fun as well. So let's get going with the first herb. Blessed thistle is used to treat liver and gallbladder diseases. It can also assist with digestive issues such as constipation, upset stomach, bloating, and gas. Next up is burdock root. And burdock root can actually support the lymphatic system, which is your body's inner drainage system, which gets rid of toxins and waste out of your body, so it's very important. I want to discuss a special group of polyphenols that are in this herb, and they're called lignans. And these lignans fall within a subgroup called phytoestrogens. And due to the structure of these phytoestrogens, they can mimic or block estrogen effects within the body. And I'll further discuss that with the next herb, red clover. So to do a deeper dive on these lignans, there's a special group of these lignans, and that's called arctogenin. And studies show that this arctogenin has the potential to stop the spread of cancer to other parts of the body and possibly induce cell death. Next up is red clover. And the special phytoestrogen group here is called isoflavones, and the specific group of isoflavones is genistein. And if you go on the Genuine Essiac website, there's actually an informative video under the red clover section. And studies show that high levels of this genistein can actually bind and block the growth of estrogen receptor positive and estrogen receptor negative breast cancer. And a Dutch study was also performed that showed a 32% reduction in breast cancer risk from these high levels of the genistein. And lastly, there's another isoflavone within this herb, and it's called furmonetin. And it does show anti-cancer effects for breast cancer as well. So next up is kelp. And kelp is a sea vegetable that's rich in iodine, which is a mineral. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the thyroid gland needs iodine to produce hormones. So if you have a deficiency in iodine and your thyroid gland doesn't produce enough hormones, you may feel sluggish and you lose energy. It can even affect your mood, make you feel depressed. And an FYI, someone who has hypothyroidism, which is where your thyroid gland doesn't produce enough hormones, maybe due to an iodine deficiency, this may actually help with that as well. So next up is sheep sorrel, and this is more powerful with the root, and the Genuine Essiac tea includes the root. And this herb can actually support the lymphatic system, and it can protect against damage to the liver as well. Next up is slippery elm bark, and this is rich in a gel-like substance called mucilage, and the mucilage can actually coat the stomach and the intestines, and it can also repair the esophagus lining. This could be very helpful for somebody who's suffering from GERD, which is where the acid comes up from the stomach and goes into the esophagus. It can decrease the inflammation. I also read that this herb can regulate the blood sugar within the body. It can help with a cough. And a fun fact about this slippery elm bark, it actually gives it the Essiac tea the rich texture, that thick texture. So next up is the Turkish rhubarb root, and this is known to be a detoxifying herb, and it can also cleanse the liver. Lastly is watercress, and watercress is actually going to give birth to another future video on my channel on cruciferous veggies, which are rich with a sulfur-containing compound called glucosinolates, and obviously that's in the watercress. And what happens is when you bite into the plant tissue and you rupture it, it activates an enzyme, and what happens is the glucosinolates get converted to something called isothiocyanates, and these can be very potent to cancer cells and can actually help induce cell death. So there you have it. There is a quick summary of all 8 herbs, all these 8 powerful herbs in this one formula in that small little jar that I showed you earlier. And I know that this genuine Essiac tea has helped me get into remission. In fact, I started to feel better roughly about 2 months after consistently taking it. I wasn't coughing up blood anymore. I wasn't coughing as much, and I just felt like there was a drastic reduction in just inflammation within my body. So for the next part of this video, I'm going to introduce you to Linda, and she's going to show you how to make this tea. All right, so follow me to the kitchen.
Hey guys, welcome to our tiny kitchen. Well, I've been doing a lot of talking and my throat's kind of dry, so I'm going to let my girlfriend Linda take over from here.
Hi everybody.
And she's going to walk you through all the steps on how to prepare the Essiac tea.
Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to make a 4-ounce bag of the Essiac tea. We already have the water boiling. This is 134 ounces of water. We're gonna just let that boil. We're gonna turn it down to medium and add the 4-ounce bag of the Essiac powder. And what you want to do is just add that in there, and we're going to mix that up. And then let this boil for about 10 minutes. Give it a nice stir. And we'll let that boil on up. Sorry about that. And then once this is done boiling, we let it sit for about 12 hours. So we'll just leave it overnight. We'll cover it. You don't need to cover it with a lid. However, we will cover it, and then we'll let it sit overnight. And we will then transfer the tea into these glass jugs here. And what we make in this pot will fill all 3 bottles. And then we'll put everything back into the refrigerator. And once they're cool, we then also transfer them to these 3-ounce bottles here, which make it easier to take in and out of the refrigerator for your serving. So you take, if you're on a regular schedule, you're going to take 3 of these 3-ounce jars, 1 in the morning, afternoon, and in the evening, on an empty stomach, preferably 2 hours before a meal. The instructions are on the packet. There are different instructions for different size servings as well. So if you go onto the Genuine Essiac website, there's different products that you can buy, different sizes, and you just buy whichever suits your purposes. There is a regular tea, there's a maintenance serving as well. So that's pretty much it. We just let this boil for about 10 minutes, and when this is done, we just take it off the heat, let it sit overnight, and then transfer it to the jars as needed.
For 12 hours, right?
12 hours.
12 hours, and then it goes into the refrigerator. And I just want to point out that after I did 576 hours of chemo and that failed to kill the cancer, that's when I started taking the Essiac tea. And I took the Essiac tea about 3 times a day for 3 ounces. And then after I was safely in remission, I am now in a maintenance stage where I take the Essiac 2 times a a day, 3 ounces each serving. So so there you have it. I hope you found this video informative, and also I'm going to be posting the affiliate link directly on my YouTube channel, and there's a coupon code Brandon10. If you enter that when you go to purchase it, you get 10% off your order. So you'll save some money by doing that. So have a good day, everybody.